All right, so we're going to do just some summary statistics here. So the first thing I'm going to do with these statistics is I'm just going to write my formula in to make my inches and feet into decimal feet. And all the formulas will appear up here. So we're going to say equals, and we're going to know that that signifies that we're doing a formula. And we've got A4, and then it is going to be plus, and I'm going to do a open parenthesis here, and I'm going to select that, and divided by 12 will give me my decimal feet. So I've got decimal feet there. I can then either double click like so, or I can left click and drag down to get my data. I will also take this data now. I will select it all, and I will go to Format, or rather Data, Sort Range, and I'm just going to sort that range with column C. It does not have a header, and I'm going to go A to Z. I'm going to sort it. It sorts all my data for me. And I'm also going to come in here, and I'm going to go to data, and I'm going to name my range. So right here I got this range set, and I'm going to call this, whatever you want to call it. I don't want it to be long, so I'm just going to call it heights. I'm going to click done. This one I'm just going to take that one and delete it. That was from another sheet, but so I got my heights here, and I'm going to move on. So now the mean is your average here, and I can do one of two things. I can just type in heights, and it'll select it, or I can just go and select my value. Whatever you would like to do is fine. Same thing with median. I'm going to select median, and then for the remainder, I'm just going to do heights, see how it selects it, hit enter. For mode, I'm going to do multi-mode, and once again, I'm going to do my heights, enter. So I actually have 3 modes in here. That's pretty cool. 1, 2, and 3. Under min and max, that's pretty straightforward. Min, and I'm going to once again do heights, and then I'm going to do equals max, and I am once again going to do heights because it just selects that data for me. For range, that is the maximum minus the minimum. Grab that, and then standard deviation S. Standard deviation S would be for the sample, so I'll use that one. Make sure it's sample, and once again heights, and equals standard dev, and this is for the population, and heights. So we got all of that info in here, nice and set up. For my values, I'm going to make sure that all of my values work out nicely here. So this would be 5, 3 is the max. This would be 5, 6 is the max. This would be 5, 9 is the max. This would be 6.2 is the max, and 6.5 as the max. And I'm just going to take these max values and I'm going to name them. Once again, named range. I'm just going to name these my bins because they're the bins that things will fall in. So now I'm going to type in frequency, and it wants my data first. So my data I named heights, and then I'm going to do comma, and then it wants my classes, which I named bins. And you see how it selects it. Hit enter, puts all that data. So next thing, I'm going to select all of this information here. I'm going to go to insert chart. I'm going to make it be a bar chart, even though it's supposed to be a histogram, which would mean there'd be no gaps. I'm going to do a bar chart. And I am going to change the x-axis to just be this row, the h's instead of the i's, to give my range of heights. After that, I think this is fairly good, so I'm going to shrink it so I can see it. We're not going to put the curve in, but basically our bell curve would look like that. So it'd be a funny looking bell curve. So I've got that. The next thing I'm going to do is my z-scores. A z-score is your value minus the mean. Now right here, if you hit F4, it'll put those dollar signs in, which are very important. And that is divided by the standard deviation, and we're going to go with the sample. And once again, I'm going to hit F4 because the dollar signs are very important. I'm going to hit enter. And I already have conditional formatting on these, so I'm actually going to just clear that all out so I can do it with you. So I come here, if I double click, once again it'll drop it for the whole series. I had conditional formatting there, I'm going to erase that. Delete. Okay, so I've got all my z-scores in here now. And having selected them, I'm going to add my conditional formatting. I'm going to go to Format, Conditional Formatting, and basically when you're in here, you could do a color scale, or you could do a regular color. So I'm going to do one color at a time, and I'm going to say under my rules, this is between 1 and -1, it's going to be green. So all those are going to be green. Very good. And then I'm going to do a new rule saying if it is between 2 and -2, it is a different color. There we go. And that's all you really need. So this gives you my z-scores. If I looked at how many values I had in here, count. So I've got 22 values. So like under here, out of those 22 values, I have 16, so equals 16 divided by 22. 72% of mine are within one standard deviation, and then 20 equals 20 divided by 22. 90% are within 2 standard deviations. So this is pretty decent data. It's not great. The 2 deviation should really be within 95%, but it's pretty good data. Once again, if I were to draw on this, it should have a curve that looks something like this, but I don't have the ability to just free draw on it, I believe. So anyway, this is the setup for what you would need to hand in for 3.7. I hope this is helpful, and good luck.